This week on Primal Instinct, Scott and Dave are putting in time on their Ohio leases. Big bucks are on the move, and the anticipation is high. Game Changers presents Primal Instinct.
It's our first city here in Ohio. We just climbed up in this spot on this one farm. We got this beautiful biologic maximum plot. It came up great. And we just cut the corn early. We had such a dry year. We got the core down earlier than usual this year. So I can't picture about 4 nice bucks right here all summer long.
When you've got trail camera pictures telling you the time and place these big bucks are moving, your chances in zoning in on them increase drastically. It doesn't take long, and Scott has a couple nice bucks feeding out in the cut cornfield.
We got 2 shooters across the field, and even though they're not close enough to shoot, it's a great way to start off our season.
Been late for about a half hour. We're surprised we haven't seen a deer yet. Can't see far, but it's one of those spots you can crack a big one in here maybe in the morning. So. We didn't see a whole lot of deer this morning. We sat here, beautiful morning, but just not moving, so we got a ton of work to do. We're gonna climb down, grab something to eat, get a cup of coffee, hang some stands, put out some spy point trail cameras. Gonna make some fatal desire scrapes, so we're ready for these big ones in a few weeks.
I think what intrigues us the most is doing all the homework, hanging these Millennium tree stands, being able to be mobile, hanging spy point trail cameras, the email cameras so we know where they're at all times, setting mineral sites, food plots, putting that whole puzzle together in the game is I think what we enjoy the most.
It's late October, and we're pumped up. We wait all year for this time. The weather looked perfect all week, and then Sandy decided to make an appearance. And she's coming up the East Coast, so she might cut our trip short, so we're taking advantage of this good day we have. It's cloudy, overcast, it's cold. These bucks should start moving.
Just like Scott thought, a few bucks are on their feet and moving around.
Cool counter. Maybe yawned because he was so small. No.
This is the time of year when you see a lot of smaller bucks cruising around, trying to find an area where there might be a hot doe. But with that comes the challenges of figuring out who the boss is.
That was pretty cool when that one buck got all stiff-legged and laid his ears back and, you know, kind of started walking in another one. They weren't big bucks, but it was a cool encounter, and love to see stuff like that in the woods.
Scott didn't have much time to spend in Ohio on this first trip out, but he had plenty of early season action to get him wound up for prime time.
We're only a 6-hour car ride away, so we set up all our Spy Point live trail cameras and email us as we're at home. So when the cameras tell us it's the right time, we're going to head back out here and try to get it done.
Primal Instinct is brought to you by PSE Archery. Experience, performance. Spy Point, the world's best and most advanced trail cameras.
How do you improve on the Evo? You start with its DNA, then engineer a bow that is fast, lightweight, and features the best technology. The Centerlock 2 pockets are highly adjustable, light, and quiet. The riser, forged from ultralight aircraft aluminum, creates a bow that weighs a mere 3.7 pounds. The Flex cable slide flexes during the draw cycle, relieving lateral torque. And the Core hybrid cams deliver a blistering 352 feet per second. Introducing the new Dream Season DNA. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
The only thing more thrilling than archery's historic past is archery's unlimited future. At threeriversarchery.com, we embrace the history of traditional archery while also giving our customers the best in cutting-edge equipment, services, and interactive content. threeriversarchery.com.
The Sportsman's Guide, the largest supplier of brand-name hunting gear at closeout prices. At the Sportsman's Guide, you'll save on everything from boots and clothing to tree stands and accessories. The Sportsman's Guide, lowest prices, best quality, guaranteed.
What makes Spy Point trail cameras the most advanced scouting products on the market? Live 3G cell phone transmission for viewing your photos anywhere in the world. New black flash LED lights will not spook game at night. 7-zone sensors for faster trigger speeds and centered images. A removable inner unit for viewing your photos on the go or in your stand. And wireless data backup capabilities in the case of camera theft. Get the point? Get Spy Point.
We're back in Ohio. It's the time of the year that every whitetail hunter dreams about.
Got a big buck making his way. He's following it down this trail.
I hit this buck with the flex tone grunt, and it seemed like he was coming on a string. But he got to that last 50 yards, just hung up, and I just think he didn't want to leave that doe he was with. Well, the first time he didn't come all the way in, but then I hit him with the grunt again, and he started making his way back to us again. This time I felt like I had the upper hand, and I had an opportunity maybe to get it done.
During the rut, it's not uncommon to see big bucks on the move during daylight hours. But when you add a hot doe into the mix, it's very difficult to pull them away. He's got this buck all locked in, and he's closing some distance quick, until all at once he just stops on a dime.
Got a really nice buck out here, probably mid-50s, 11 point. We thought we had him coming twice, and he just hung up. He had a doe over there with him, and I think he doesn't want to leave her. I hit him with this flex tone grunt, and he looked like he was coming twice on the dead run. Then he got his senses about him and wised up. But it's still early, and it's November 5th, so it should be a good sit. We're gonna sit tight. This spot, they just pop over this hill and they're in your lap, so you gotta be ready.
On the other side of the Primal lease, field producer Dave Stracula was also having plenty of action.
Usually we get beat to death in this tree, so the winds are really, really calm. Deer activity kind of slowed down a little bit, so I think we're going to sneak down, go back, grab some breakfast, some coffee, and check a couple stand sites.
I feel like one of the keys that helps us be successful is we constantly are scouting, always moving tree stands, setting scrapes, no matter what time of year it is. We're always trying to stay on top of our game.
The mid-morning work was done. It was time to get refueled up and get ready to get back at it.
We shuffled some things around and we were set for the afternoon's hunt.
Primal boys are up in their trees, ready to rock. Scott and Lonnie are down on the other side in a bowl. Landon and I are down here by the creek.
Dave just got all set up, and this shooter comes out of the thicket.
There was no doubt in my mind, this is the reason why we come to Ohio.
Man, that is a giant. He's got points everywhere. He must have had the book thrown at him before because he didn't want no part of nothing. Couple soft grunts. He didn't like it. And he's headed right over to where we sat this morning and just... That's alright. He's here.
Scott's seeing plenty of deer, just not the one he's looking for yet.
Not big enough. Slow. Real slow for October 5th. November 5th. You think it was October 5th, but it's slow.
Primal Instinct is brought to you by Millennium Tree Stands. Comfort to hunt all day, all season. Easton Bow Hunting. Expect the best. Spot Hog, the world's toughest archery products.
My whole life has been about bow hunting. All the early mornings, all the practice arrows, all the travel, all the risk. Some people ask me why I do it. It's because I'm a bow hunter.
Learning to shoot is a great activity for couples. Getting accurate feedback while practicing is even more fun. Use a shoot and see reactive target to build your confidence and your skills. Get better, faster. Shoot and see targets. Shoot more. Shoot better.
With its lightning-fast speed of 410 feet per second and nearly 1 pound in weight reduction, Barnett has done it again, leaving its competition in the dust by breaking record speeds and innovation. For a deadly combination, make sure to use your Halo rangefinder to pinpoint the exact distance so you can put your trophy of a lifetime on the ground. We're still in Ohio and the action is heating up.
Pretty good morning so far. As soon as we got in the tree, we had like about 110-inch buck. Skirt is right here, like 15 yards. Why couldn't that be the big boy?
Dave was wishing that the big boy was around, and that's just what he was about to get.
Just one of these bucks just showed up in the summer. We really never saw him before. We called him Oscar because he had a lot of trash. And when I was a kid growing up watching Sesame Street, Oscar lived in a trash can.
Here comes this stud of a buck coming through the cut field, chasing the doe all over the place. Well, go figure, she leads him right back out the way he came.
Oscar was without a doubt one of the big bucks on the hit list.
After those deer left the field, my activity came to a standstill, but Scotty was still seeing deer.
We're back by the part of our property we call the North Woods. We got a little cruising area here between Miller Woods and North Woods where these bucks like to walk back and forth. As soon as the sun comes up, it should warm up.
Dave's activity didn't stay slow for long. Late morning was heating up.
We're tucked in this little honey hole here. It's like a big giant thicket on the east side of the property that we put a little food plot in here this past summer. And this morning's blowing up.
We got down out of the tree to get a little something to eat, and after that, we were right back in the saddle.
Back in the stand again. We've been doing pretty good with sightings. We saw 160 yesterday. We saw that same buck this morning. We almost bleeded him up. We saw a crazy, non-typical, real heavy, big deer. Saw him yesterday afternoon out of the stand.
Dave made the right decision on coming back to this stand for this evening.
This is the same buck we had an encounter with the other day, and it looks like he's coming in hot and heavy this time.
I don't know, man. I'm not happy about that shot at all. We're definitely going to give him overnight. We have several days left in our week. We're going to give him overnight. If we find that deer, he's the Big 12, man.
Dave spends a ton of time and gives up a lot of his hunting time to film us and make Primal Instinct what it is. So when he gets an opportunity to be in front of the camera and get an opportunity to smack a great buck like this, I was really happy for Dave.
We're having a rough go at it. We just can't seem to catch a break. It's the ups and downs of bow hunting. We know there's big deer all over his farm. We're seeing them, but they just won't walk in bow range.
As the sun went down, I knew it was going to be a sleepless night until we could get after this deer in the morning.
We let that big buck sit all night. Not a great shot, but I hope he's in there. I mean, we gave him about 16, 17 hours, and it's time to go in there and check it out. I mean, I can't take it anymore. He's a really good buck, and he didn't go far. We saw his tail wagging. You saw the footage, so I'm gonna go in there and try and get him.
It was getting to the end of the wire, and I wasn't sure if I was going to find this buck, but when I laid eyes on him, I was emotional. We were just about to give up. Landon's at the top of the hill. Scott and I are on the phone. We were just about to call Dog to get in here. The guy's out of town. I know once we left this bowl and went back to get settled in with some water and get something to eat, that was it. I knew we weren't going to come back in this area. This is like a big sanctuary. Nobody's allowed in here. We probably blew all the deer out. We got everyone left to hunt yet. And these guys teamed up with me, man, to help me find them. And I can't thank everybody enough for all the support, because I was worried this morning. But this deer, Landon and I, we've been hunting this tree up here for 2 years, and these deer just keep giving us the slip. We all put our heads together to try and make something happen. There's no trees. And this guy just came up, and that doe walked him right to us. And he jumped the string on me a little bit, but here he is, man. And what a deer. I mean, there's even bigger deer here. I just don't know what to say. I mean, What a hunt, man.
When we come back, Scott and Brad are back in the tree, and Brad gets his opportunity at an Ohio bruiser. Primal Instinct is brought to you by these fine sponsors. Primal Instinct is brought to you by Quiet Cat, the electric hunting machine that is built like a bull and hunts like a cat. The new Diamondback safety harness by Big Game Tree Stands. Fuel the addiction. Nose Jammer. Not a cover scent, not an attractant. Jam 'em with Nose Jammer. Three Rivers Archery, the longbow and recurve experts for over 25 years. Roasted Corn Freaks, all the taste of real corn with 2 times the protein and 3 times the fat by Evolved Habitat. The Pile Driver, any powder, anytime. Pile Driver feeder by Wild Game Innovation. We're in Ohio, and Scott has bucks running doe all over the place.
We had a pretty good night. We saw a bunch of deer early and a couple decent bucks, and then just at last night, we had a dog come through that chased all the deer off. I got really discouraged, but we looked up and there was this beautiful, I think he was a big 9 or 10. We gotta watch the footage. It was really getting dark. Snort wheezed and grunted them right in, and we just ran out of camera light. You know, that's one of the disadvantages of this sport is we need the light to get the footage to bring it to you. And he was definitely a shooter. He was a mature buck, but he just chased the doe out of sight.
The next morning is starting out no different. As the sun starts to come up, there are a few bucks on the move, but none of the shooters they're after.
I think a lot of our big bucks are locked down. It seems like as the morning gets later, these bucks start cruising a little better, so. Everybody else is seeing these shooters. They're just not coming by us. So we've had some bad luck so far, but it can all change in a second. We got one more sit tonight. Base because we haven't seen a nice buck in 2 sits. So we got about 3 hours till dark. This is our last sit just for this trip. But if you don't get one, we'll be back. The nice thing about having your own property and your own lease, you can come back as many times as you want.
This week we had Brad and Gary hunting with us on another farm in Ohio. And it was really cool because Brad was about to get an opportunity at a really good buck. Brad made a great shot on this deer. He saw the buck go down. What an awesome feeling to see Brad get it done.
Hey man, I had a great hunt here in Ohio. I'd like to thank Scott, Primal Instinct guys, for letting me come out and hunt with them this week. Weather's been great. Seen a lot of bucks. A lot of good bucks. Feel extremely fortunate. I'd like to thank the good Lord for letting me harvest this animal.
Well, the sun's going down and our week's come to an end. But we had a good week. We're gonna get home, spend some quality time with our families, and get out here we'll make a decision next week, see what the weather's like, and try to get back out here and lay down this big non-typical or one of these other bucks we've had on our hit list.
Next week on Primal Instinct, host Scott Sciarra, field producer Lonnie Price, and pro staff member Gary Klingel head to the mountains of Nebraska to put their PSEs to the test on some Merriam turkeys.
That We just pulled off a double.
My cameraman Landon says it's too much for one morning for one guy to handle. It really is. It's a lot. These big bucks, man, they're just wearing us out thin.
Follow us on Facebook at Game Changers TV.
This is a Chunky Monk Media production, a division of Quest of the Continents.